Hey everybody, it's Marty from aspectLED. Are you tired of our old connectors, which you could hardly get the little latch door to shut, and even if you did, they just pulled right out? Well, we've got a great new product line for you, our solderless bite connectors. When we're talking about these new connectors, they basically fall into three categories. Number one is going to be the pigtail. This is what we used to call a connector on one end, and it has wires on the other. This you would use to hook up a strip to maybe a power supply or make a junction to some wires here. The great intermediate piece right here. The second type is what we now call a jumper, or a two connector piece. As a connector, a connector. This is great for going around corners, or say you're doing under cabinet projects, you can make that jump with this direct strip to strip. The third type of connector that we have is going to be a splice connector. This is to splice two strips directly together. Maybe you have some remnants from another project and you want to join them together. This is the solution for that. Let's go ahead and hook up one of these connectors to a strip. First, we're going to show hooking an L Series connector to a strip light. So to do that, you simply take the strip. You want to look at the polarity on the strip and make sure that the plus is going to the red wire on this connector. You simply push the strip in like this. The little blades are on the top side of the strip. And then you can use a needle nose pliers, or I'm using parallel jaw pliers, which actually works even better. And you're going to take these little metal foil blades and you're going to squeeze them down all the way, both ends, until it bites into the strip. That's why we call it a solderless bite connector, because you don't have to solder it and it bites the strip. And now that is a strong connection. Look at that. Check that out. That is super strong, and you have great continuity because the blade is actually pierced into the strip, and it's going to work fantastic. Now let's show using the same type of connector with our RGBW series, our W Series RGBW. So we're going to grab one of those connectors right here. This is the 5-channel connector, and we're going to use that with this strip right here. Again, you want to look at your polarity. These are matched up color for color. So we've got the white on the bottom and the black on the top. If you've got it the wrong way like this, it's not going to work. You can't have the connector hook up, so polarity does matter. You just slide that right in like this. Slide it in right there, and then you're going to go and you're going to close all these blades on it, just like this. Just close this end and that end. And I like to come around and get it from the other side. Make sure those blades go all the way through. Look at that. Now that was easier to use than the old style connector. And look at that. That is strong. That is really, really strong. Now, quick thing. You can peel the tape away or you don't have to. It doesn't matter with these. If your application calls for peeling the tape off, go ahead and do that. Does not matter with this type of connector. Look at how solid that is. Just make sure that all those metal foils are down all the way. Now let's take a look at the L Series RGB connector. We never actually had a connector for this before, so this is really exciting because now you don't have to solder when you're working with this strip product. You can just use the connectors that we have. So again, we're going to use one of the jumpers right here. This is an L Series RGB jumper cable, or end-to-end connector. So you go ahead, let's pull this up right here. You want to look at it and see how I've got my polarity. I've got it wrong. Let's flip this around. The open little trough right here is to allow for that COB strip right there. We're going to slide that in there. So green's going to align to green and on up through RGB. There we go. And the V+. You're going to push that in all the way right there. Look at that. And then you come in here with this parallel jaw pliers. You're just going to squeeze down on this. Look at that. Beautiful. You want to make sure you get the whole thing in. You got to get the front and the back right here because you're also making continuity all the way through there. So make sure you do all of it. Now we're going to go ahead and light these up, and you can see how well these work. Okay, I've hooked these all up, and let's see if they work. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the remote. All right, let's see here. We've got our W series. Let's see, we've got our white on the W series. That works, yep. Oh, and we've got the N series. That lights up here, turning that on and off. Now let's try the RGB part of it. Let's see, okay, we got purple, red, green, blue, red, RGB. Okay, if we look right here, we can see an example of 3 of the pigtails being used right here. They're going right in, the wires to the connectors right here. Right here, we have a jumper, an end-to-end connector. Down the line over here, we're using a splice. This is all on the RGBW. If you look at the N series right here, we've got Pigtail. Let's turn that on so you can see that. There we go. That's Pigtail. And then over here, the L Series RGB. We're going ahead in with a Pigtail, then a jumper, and a splice. Okay, there are 2 little limitations with these. Number 1 is actually a good thing. These are permanent. Once you've bitten down on that, there's little teeth that are grabbing into the strip. Those aren't coming out. It's strong. You're not undoing it. It's one-time use. Limitation number 2, the other limitation, is that the maximum run length rule for strips still applies with these connectors. If the maximum run length on a strip is 16.4 foot, connectors are the same thing. This doesn't make them make power go longer because they're not magic. Thank you for watching this video on our brand new solderless bike connectors. For more awesome content, light up that subscribe button.